Birch. Um, asking a question today, why make comics? Why do you even bother? So when you wake up in the morning, you drag yourself out of bed, couch, floor, alley, I don't know where you're coming from, and you're gonna, so you set out on your daily journey, and your daily journey is to do whatever fulfills you, whatever is going to get you from, you know, eyes open to eyes shut in the day. So why make comics? What drives you to actually do this thing to where you're going to either write or draw or both or ink or letter or color or whatever it happens to be? Why make comics? Like, you have a million things to do in your life. Why comics? Why would you bother? What is it you're trying to do in the world? And I think this question is one that a lot of people don't think about and avoid. It's there's the kind of, what is your purpose in life? And this is something that, people somewhere in their late 30s, early 40s probably start to contemplate of what am I doing in my life? And if you find yourself in the comic industry somewhere, then you probably ask yourself the question, like, why? Why am I doing this? And for some people who are successful, the answer is pretty easy. I'm doing this because I get paid to do it. And if I stop doing it, I stop getting paid. And that is a perfectly legitimate answer. We gotta make money. We gotta put food on the table. We gotta pay rent. We gotta do our thing. If you're a comic shop owner and you're asking yourself, why am I doing this? It's kind of a trap question. Either the answer is very easy, you're doing this because you're making money and you're surviving, and that's good. Or if times are kind of tough and you're not making a lot of money, then that's a much harder question to ask. Now you're going, oh my God, why am I doing this? Where am I going to be in 20 years? Am I going to be able to retire? Am I going to be 70 owning a comic shop? I mean, God. So why make comics? And I think there's a number of different answers there. And depending on your position in life and kind of where you are and what you're doing and what you're contributing, I think your answer changes a bit. But hopefully, you're making comics because it fulfills you, because you feel like there's some creative flame inside of you and you've got to get it out. You've got to actually produce. You've got to put your vision out into the world, and you kind of take pleasure in the idea of people attaching to your vision and reading your vision and taking your vision further. Or you're getting paid a bunch of money and you're like, I'm doing this because it's fulfilling. I enjoy putting my creative vision out, and I'm well paid for it. I'm getting some cash and I'm getting some money, and this is good. But I'll be real careful here not to mention names, but I go to a lot of conventions and I talk to a lot of comic creators, many people names and the answer increasingly I've noticed over the last 10 years has been, I make comics because I get paid, and I get paid not enough, but I get paid enough to survive, and I get my name out there, and then hopefully my name gets out there and I make more money and I have more certainty and everything else. And then this is the sentence, this next sentence, I've heard it from multiple artists, multiple creators, people like, oh, there's an edit. I cut some stuff out. So people who say the sentence, I make comics because I get paid, and I'm scared because one day I'll turn 45, 50, 55, and I won't know pop culture. I won't know what's cool and hip, and then I'm screwed. Then I've got to figure out another way to make money. And so it's like I'm making money with the hopes that it will keep going, or at some point along the way, I'll find a nice kind of company job or money source and I'll be able to live that way. Um, I've taken some time over the last couple of years, really, but in the last year, and I've become fascinated. This is completely unrelated to comics, but I've become fascinated with the idea of how much money does it take to retire and retire healthily, and how much money are people saving, and what's the average net worth of someone. And the number is small. like most people are pretty much banking on the idea that life will somehow work out for them when they're in their 40s and 50s. And maybe it will, hopefully it does, but who knows? Who knows what people are up to? And there will be a couple of comic creators that will do really well, get some royalties, sock some money away, save, still be relevant in 10, 20 years, and they'll do okay. And people like Bendis, Snyder, probably King at this point. There's a bunch of people who will have enough of a career that they can kind of coast on out of the rest of their life. But for the majority of comic creators, it's like you draw, you hope you have enough socked away, and then at some point in your 50s, you're like, you got to find another job, or maybe you don't, or I don't know. And hold that thought for a minute, because it's kind of depressing. This is a depressing video. This is by far a depressing video. Um, what what do you want to do with your life? I think is the question that a lot of comic creators, people are in the industry, people who are selling comics, making comics, doing comics, they don't ask themselves. And a lot of them have a second job or have a, I mean, the sad part is what they really have is a first job, and comics is the second job. And when you think about it, now take a step back for a minute. There is no property right now in the world in terms of entertainment that is as powerful as the Avengers Marvel Cinematic Universe brand. There's not. Now, it does not look, maybe Avengers passes Avatar by the time this video goes out, because I record these things way in advance. Just to kind of break the illusion, it is May 10th. That is when I am talking right now, is May 10th. I don't know when this video comes out, probably sometime in July, I don't know. But it's May 10th right now. And the Avengers it's not clear if it's going to pass Avatar or not. My prediction is not, but it will come really close. And in terms of bankable properties are going to go out and make a lot of money and are good. There is very little as valuable as Marvel properties, and DC, despite the fact that it's far behind Marvel, is still very powerful of a property. It's still doing very, very well. And to think that you have these comics and these creations and these ideas that are out making billions of dollars, and yet a lot of the comic creators are making nothing, or they're not making nothing, but they're not making enough to retire on. They're not making bank. And a lot of comic creators, time after time, and of course, nobody's going to say this on Twitter, nobody's going to post a blog article, nobody's going to go really public with this. But if you get some of these comic creators and you go have a beer at a convention, you go down the street to the Azteca or the Red Robin or whatever happens to be open, the Fox Sports Bar. I'm just doxed myself completely with creators who know exactly who I am at this point. But if you go down the street to these places and you're buying that creator a beer and you're having a friendly chat and you've all had like you've had 3 beers, and you've gone for the liter, not the half liter. You've gone for the big stein, and people are starting to get silly and they're talking about politics in kind of slurred, drunken ways. And you've gone to talk to these guys, you come to discover that the vast majority of them are, happy. They have a name, they've got a reputation, they've got everything else, but they do know internally in their soul, they know that it's fleeting, that things could turn on them really quickly, and they'll be right back to nothing. And then they're going to be going to try and figure out the job. They're going to have to take that freelance editor job at, blankety blank publisher. And that's what their life's going to be like. They're going to settle out at, maybe 80, 90,000 a year, which would be a good salary and, good for them. But they're hoping. That's what they're hoping for. And it shouldn't be that way. When you've got $1 billion properties out there, you should be able to be doing better. And if nothing else, and this is where I deeply wish, and these words are falling on for the people who are listening to this right now, thank you immensely for taking the time to hear these words right now. I don't know how many of you there are, 20, 30, 40, maybe. If anything, I wish this video was listened to by thousands. You deserve better. If you're in the comic industry, you're hearing this right now, you deserve better. It's $1 billion franchise. It's so huge, and you deserve more than what you're getting. You're getting nothing for this industry. And by the way, and I think in terms of the outrage and the the various comics gate and other kind of things going on, if nothing else, most of the fans, most of the people, and when I say most, I mean like 90% of the people, they want you to do well. If you're in the industry right now and you're listening to this, and chances are you're not, but hey, if any of you have any influence who are listening to this, forward, like DM, give a creator, say, please listen to this. You deserve more. I want you to deserve more. I sell your books for a living. I want you to be making more. I want new faces and new readers to come into this world, come into comics and feel like they have the path to an amazing future. We should have hope for this industry. And the crazy part is there is all the reason to hope. There's all the reason to believe that this is going to be huge, because when Avengers Endgame is just destroying box office records and making all this money, and around the world there are people in countries who are not America, who are down in living in poverty, and they know who Captain America and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. I mean, think about that. There are people in the third world who know who Doctor Strange is, and that's incredible. You should be making money if you're one of the fortunate few. And by the way, all the people in Comicsgate or whatever, and I hate that name. I effing hate that name, because the stupid hyphen gate is just so amateur hour. It sounds dumb. I'm sorry. If you're in that movement, you sound dumb. That dot gate, it's just stupid. So if you're in that world, you deserve so much better than where we're at right now. Because if some kid in Argentina is totally in love with Captain America and Thor and Captain Marvel, yes, Captain Marvel, or any of these characters, because they're so heroic and so huge, if you're one of the fortunate few who get to write or draw or ink or color or letter these comics, you should be on the pedestal. You're creating and crafting one of the most powerful brands of all time. I don't want to make this all Marvel centric. If you're drawing Batman, you're drawing a character that is known by billions of people the world over, and you should be a star. And yet there's some guy in Amazon who's coding like a unit test for a database that's doing better than you financially. That's insane. That is absolutely crazy. And we have to fix that as a community. So I know there's so much angst and so much anger on social media. Please, I'm begging you, please hear the passion in my voice. We all deserve better. The fans, the creators, the owners of these properties, we deserve better. If you're out there and you are playing this game with Twitter, and there's trolls and there's blocking and there's all this other crap, I come on. We deserve better. We're smarter than this, right? As a community, we should be smarter than this. We are fueling a $1 billion economy in the world, not just in one particular country, in the world. And so you do need to go out, you do need to have fun. But when I go to have drinks, and I do this often, I'll buy any number of creators a drink. And the depression, the kind of, this is a grind that you get out of these people, it's heartbreaking. if for no other video, no other whatever, you've heard this for the first time, the second time, if right now you listening to this have a DM with a creator, please share. If nothing else, please share this one video because I want the creators to feel this hope, this inspiration. I want to start to create the coalition, the community. We should be doing better than this. All of us, the fans, the readers, the creators, all of us, we have to be doing better than this. This is no good. What we're doing right now, the infighting and the being content to have it be a corporate job where we're just we're writing some stories and Disney's making some money and we're going off, we're doing the other thing. We're hoping that some person in 5-10 years will pay our bills. I mean, I have sat, and I'm not afraid to say it, I've sat in a bar with some creators, with a penciler, who said that they don't know where they're going to be when they turn 48, 50. They don't know what their life's going to be like. Chances are they're going to be trying to get a job at like Target. Are you, I mean, no, no, it can't be. It cannot be. So I think for all of us, we all have a part to play here. Whether we're a fan, whether we're a news journalist who's thinking we're covering comics, whether we're a creator, whether we're an editor, whether we're a writer, we have to start to be smarter than this. We have to band together. There can't be a Comicsgate, all that garbage. It's garbage. We have to promote comics. There's hundreds of comics coming out every month. And if you're lucky enough, and I greatly admire and am jealous of you people who create comics for the rest of us. I'm jealous of you. You are in the position to create works of art that the rest of us are going to consume and will live on in history. And for the fans, for the people who read these comics, we are also lucky because we're reading these works of art months or years before they ever get turned into films. And if any of the creators are thinking, well, I don't really care about this story, but I'm going to churn it out because that's what the paycheck demands, we should do better. And for fans, if we're reading a comic and it's not good, we should be able to say, yeah, we want better. We want better. We're not going to be jerks about it. We're not going to issue death threats or do stupid things online. But we want better because what we are doing right now, this, like no other industry, movies, TV, books, nothing else. Comics are an art form that get transformed into something far better. And we should be doing something more with that. We should be getting more out of it as fans. We should be getting more out of it as creators, financially, uh, for all reasons. That's my deal. So I should back up a second to the very beginning of this little video rant and everything else. What prompted this? Well, I'm driving back from a convention where I just had some nice, appetizers and drinks with a couple comic creators, and I can't stomach what I heard. What I heard was sad, and I sell books for I do a lot of things for a living. But one of the things I do is I sell books. And one of the things that the creators do is they create books to sell. They create these amazing adventures, these amazing characters. They do this thing that is powerful in life. And we all deserve better. All of us, the readers, the sellers, the creators, we all deserve more than what we're getting. And as long as we're fighting with each other and we're battling and we're doing this kind of nonsense, we're dying. We are killing ourselves. I mean, creators, please, for the love of God, stop with block bots and endless blocking because you don't like something someone heard. If somebody's being a jerk, ignore it. And fans, if you think your job, your life is built on attacking people and harassing them and going at it, please, please stop. There's no point in what you're doing. You are not adding any value to anything. Let's figure it out together. We all have our issues, we all have our problems, we all kind of have our different opinions. But at the end of the day, it's us against the world. It's us as fans, as readers, as creators. It's us creating something that the rest of the world is going to enjoy. And if that's the case, we should be profiting off of this, whether it's financially or by enjoyment or whatever else. We should be profiting off this. And so, whatever our differences are, we have to come together. We have to be smarter than this. Anyway, hey, congratulations to you if you made it all the way through this. I'm like at 21 minutes of whatever this is, kind of a passionate plea to people. I'm really shell shocked. I mean, if you made it to this point, what prompted this? I don't know. There's only so many times you can hear, "Hey, I'm struggling. Hey, I don't know what to do with my life. Hey, I'm drawing this stuff, but in 10 years I could be working at Walmart." There's only so many times you can hear this before you start to lose your mind. And maybe that's where I'm at. I can't take this anymore. Guys, we're making an amazing thing for ourselves. And it's got to be worth more than this. So, what do you think? Leave me a comment. Tell me if I'm crazy. Say, hey, hey, Perch, it sounds like you've got a lot of donations to your Patron and you have cashed in those donations. Okay, fair enough. But let me know. Let me know. Like, subscribe. I don't even say that. Who cares? Look, you subscribe, you don't subscribe. None of what I do here on this channel is to get numbers. I don't care. I'm not monetizing. I'm not trying to get a number. I don't gauge my self-worth on a number. I'm not going to I got 1,000 subscribers. I've got a huge blank right now. I don't care. Look, I hope the people who listen to this get some value out of this. I hope this is meaningful to you. I'm trying to explain parts of the business. I'm trying to bring some sense to this world that I love. I grew up with comics, as many of the people who are in comics are. We grew up with this. These are characters that help shape our lives, and we only get one life here. So, this is meaningful to us, and that's where I'm coming from. So, hey, thanks for listening. Do all the rest. I do the same spiel every time. Like, notify, subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's cool. Whatever. Just let me know what you think, and if I'm wrong, off base, crazy, drunk, whatever, let me know. Thanks for listening, and yeah, just thanks for listening. That's really the key to all of it. Thanks.